What is up, guys? Welcome back here. Today, of course, get that right here quickly. Let's get that away, get that away. Today, we're going to be doing a little something different here. A little different for college football this year. We will said we're just going to be doing a massive preview for every game, for every week of the season. We're going to be picking every single game of college football. Some of them we're just going to give a brief thing on, like Western Illinois and Indiana. That's obviously going to be an Indiana win, so it's just going to call it as it is. Indiana's going to win that game. But then there's more that there's some that we need to go more in depth, like BYU and SMU. I think BYU, they're a sneaky good team, and I think they're going to go in to Dallas and pull off that upset and beat SMU. And then I'm also going to give you my top 25 thing, and then I'll show you my playoff eliminator teams that I think are eliminated from the playoffs. And then usually there would be a best bets, but I have not researched on that yet. Next week it should be in the same video. Anyways, here we are. BYU and SMU. Like I said, BYU, I think they're going to pull off the upset and be a nice win there for them. Duke, I think they can handle business. Northwestern is not the best team this year. But then they are at that weird stadium, to be honest, man. It just looks ugly. It's real ugly. Fresno State's going to win this one pretty simple there. Sac State is not an FCS school. They're not going to beat Fresno. Florida Atlantic should handle business against Army. And then Oklahoma State versus Arkansas. This could be a sneaky game. But I think Oklahoma State, especially at home, will definitely take care of business and knock off Arkansas. And don't pay attention to anything over here. I don't. This is not really necessary. It's like they're putting in a playoffs or something. That would be more relevant towards the end of the season here for these predictions. Anyway, let's get back to business here. Penn State's obviously going to beat Bowling Green. Again, Rutgers obviously going to beat Akron. And then right here, number 23 Georgia Tech goes to the JMA Dome to play against Syracuse. And I think Syracuse is going to upset Georgia Tech, and Syracuse will win this football game. Kyle McCord, he seems to have taken a step up from last year where he struggled. And I think he's a lot more underrated now that he's at Syracuse and not Ohio State. And I think he and Syracuse will get it done and beat Tech. Next up, Kansas State and Tulane. This is also a pretty easy one to pick. Kansas State's going to beat Tulane. Kansas State, I have them ranked, I think, around 17. Yes, 17. And they're going to beat Tulane. That's a pretty easy win for them. Next up, we have here an out-of-conference game. This is a weird out-of-conference game between Cincy and Pitt. I'm gonna go with Pitt on this one. They're gonna go into Cincinnati and knock off the Bearcats. Knock off Cincinnati in that one and win that game. I will still obviously be posting my score predictions on, just a quick pause, I'll be posting my score predictions on Instagram still. And I'm not going to give any score predictions for these. I'm going to save that for that post. I'm always going to give my winner, but no score. I'll give like a hint. Maybe I'll say, they won by 10 or 14 or 2 scores or whatever, something like that. But I won't give my official prediction yet. This one here, pretty simple. Merrimack College is a JUCO team. They're not going to beat UConn. And then here we go. We got the game of the week, college game day. Texas and Michigan at the Big House. I think Texas handles this one pretty easily, to be honest with you. I think Texas does a wonderful job. Doing a wonderful job. They did a wonderful job against Colorado State, won 52-0. That was a great win, and I think they pretty easily knock off Michigan. No, I'm not gonna say easily, but by maybe 17, at least 10 points. I think they win it by at least 10. Obviously, Minnesota's gonna beat Rhode Island. It's a pretty easy pick there. I think Memphis, pretty easy win against Troy. Memphis has they're a sneaky team that can sneak into that 12 spot in the playoffs this year. That could happen. I could see that happening. Wouldn't be shocked to see that happening. Then these next couple here, till we get to Auburn, Cal, are just Easy home wins for all these teams. A&M's going to maul McNeese. Ball State should beat Missouri State pretty easily. Georgia should maul Tennessee Tech. Kent State should maul St. Francis. UNLV should handily beat Utah Tech. And then still here, Auburn, they're going to beat Cal. Cal is they're not very good. They got that Jaden Ott kid, but they're not that good, man. It's just, I like Auburn this year, man. I'm thinking Auburn's gonna go 10-2 this year, man. It's gonna be great for them, man. It's gonna be great. And then we're just gonna keep picking them here. Boston College handles Duquesne. Notre Dame handles NAU. This one, it could be close. This is actually kind of hard pick here. I think I'm gonna go Temple here. Getting a win on the road against Navy. Getting a win on the road. I think Navy, Navy is, obviously they're not the best team, but neither is Temple. But I think Temple will get it done and get the victory here. Next up here we got South Carolina versus Kentucky. Again, this one's pretty easy. South Carolina barely beat Old Dominion. They're struggling, man. Last year was a huge year for them. I thought they were going to go about 9-3 last year. They ended up going 4-8, struggling pretty badly. And Beamer, next year, if Beamer doesn't pick up the pace, man, he's going to be in trouble. This one here, I'm going to go Michigan State over Maryland. Maryland is a team that I don't see making a bowl game this year. Lost their number one guy, Tualia Tagovailoa. And I don't see them making a bowl game this year, to be honest, man. It's going to be tough for them. Then these next couple, North Carolina should handily beat Charlotte. Toledo handle business against UMass. Utah should handle Baylor. Wyoming handles Idaho, although Idaho did give Oregon a scare over the weekend on Saturday. But I think Wyoming will get it done. Wyoming took a massive loss to Arizona State by 41 points on the road, 48-7. That was no good for them there. Washington handles Eastern Michigan. Wisconsin handles South Dakota. And then we get here to this Iowa State-Iowa game. I'm going to go with Iowa State. I like Rocco Becht. I like the running back, Sama. Don't know. He's a great player. I like Noel, the receiver. I like Iowa State this year, man. They're a sneaky team that I could definitely see coming in to win the Big 12. So I'm still sticking with Utah at this time as my pick. But I could see Iowa State coming out and winning that. Next up, we have Louisville, Jack State. Louisville's going to win that game. UTSA versus Texas State. Give me Texas State. I had the UTSA defense in college fantasy. I'll show you guys my college fantasy team when we're done with the pick'em, because I love my team, and you'll see why I love my team. But I think Texas State will win with McLeod. He's a great player. I think they'll pull out the win against UTSA. Ole Miss obviously beat Middle Tennessee. Virginia Tech bounces back, beats Marshall. Give me FIU. Give me FIU to beat Central. I don't love Central. Their logo's really ugly. Really ugly. So give me, not because of their logo, but give me FIU to win that game there. Central, not gonna make a bowl game. Not a very good team, to be honest. Not a very good team in that regard. Next up, here we have a pretty easy win for JMU over Gardner-Webb. And I think Old Dominion handles Eastern Carolina. Old Dominion's got not good, but they got a solid team. A pretty solid team. Old Dominion does, so I think they handle it against East Carolina. Against South Alabama over Ohio to win that football game. And then here we got couple more here that are just going to be quick picks. That's what I'm going to start calling them. Quick picks. Miami's going to beat FAMU. West Virginia's going to beat Albany. Miami over FAMU. Virginia Tech over Albany. Central Florida over Houston. Sam Houston State. And then again, Air Force. Triple Option's not going to get you to win many games. They're not going to beat San Jose. San Jose, they were in it for a little while last week against Sac State, but they came around and they won that game. Give me Arkansas State, Butch Jones to beat Tulsa. Coastal Carolina beat William and Mary. I kind of gotta go quick so these videos aren't droning on. So if I don't have much to say, I'm just gonna quick pick it. Colorado State over Northern Colorado. Georgia State over Chattanooga. Raging Cajuns over Kennesaw. Missouri over Buffalo. Rice over Texas Southern. Stanford over Cal Poly. Bama over South Florida. And then it's slowing down. It's getting slow here. Florida to beat Stanford. Getting their first of only 2 wins I have them winning this year over Mississippi State and Stanford. Florida looked god-awful against Miami. They looked horrible. And I don't expect much to change. DJ Lagway is, I think, going to be the starter. Mertz has a concussion. Kansas is going to beat Illinois. Kansas, Devin Neal. Neal Brown, sorry, he's the head coach of West Virginia. Devin Neal and Jalon Daniels, great players. UAB is going to beat ULM. Georgia State's going to beat Nevada. Southern Miss is going to beat Southeast Louisiana. Give me Wake Forest over Virginia. Virginia's terrible. I mean, they're horrible. Western Kentucky over Eastern Kentucky. LSU bounces back over Nicholls. And then here's when we can pause on for a second. Tennessee's going to beat NC State. NC State looked kind of bad, to be honest. I watched the game because I got the receiver in fantasy, KC Concepcion. They didn't look good. Their defense looked horrible. In that first half, in the third quarter, they didn't look good. They picked it up in the fourth quarter. I think they won by 17 points. But I think Tennessee handles business and wins this game. Nico is the future of college football. Nico Emilavea, future college football. He's a wonderful player. He is the future of the sport, and he is an awesome guy. Awesome player. Western Michigan over Ohio State over Western Michigan. I will be attending this football game. I'm taking the trek up to Ohio here from Georgia to head to this game. It's been my first time ever going to a Big Ten home game. I did go to the Ohio State Georgia games. That's my only other Big Ten game I've ever been to. It's my first ever Big Ten home game. Should be awesome, man. Should be a great time. Yeah, I was at the Clemson Georgia game last weekend. It was a great time. And then here we get to another great game of the week. Not the game of the week. That's obviously Michigan and Texas. But we get to another great game. It's going to be Colorado and Nebraska. And I'm going Colorado's going to win 2 years in a row. I mean, their defense didn't look too good against that FCS team. North Dakota State, the Bison, and the Buffaloes. Man, that's a great mascot matchup. But their defense didn't look great, but their offense looked outstanding. Travis Hunter looked great. Jimmy Horn looked great. Shadur looked great. And I think they're going to get the job done against Nebraska. This is the first, I'll say real team that Dylan Raiola has faced. But I don't know if I can call him a real team, to be honest. And over here again, when you see the 0-1-1, that's what I had predicted them. Like, I thought UNC was going to lose to Minnesota. I thought Penn State was going to get upset, and I thought Notre Dame was going to lose. Clearly, none of those teams lost. That's just my prediction for it. That is not what their actual record is. Just set that out there. Anyways, this is going to be Dylan Raiola's first test against a Power 5 team, and I don't think he's a great player, but he's just a freshman. And I think Colorado wins that one. Obviously, North Texas beating Stephen F. Austin. Well, Stephen F. Austin killed someone by 70 in like the first half last week. I didn't pay attention because it was a Stephen F. Austin game. But anyway, Vandy's going to beat Alcorn. Vandy got a great win, man. Good for them. An awesome win over Virginia Tech. I did not have them winning that one, but they got an awesome win there against Virginia Tech. And a couple quick picks. Oklahoma, they're going to beat Houston. Houston's not that good. Clemson's going to beat App State. TCU's going to beat Long Island. UTEP's going to beat Southern Utah. Arizona's going to beat NAU. And then Oregon got a scare against Boise State. I think Boise keeps it close. And maybe a 10-point win for Oregon. But I think Gentry has another great game like he did last week with 6 tuds. Texas Tech knocks off Washington State. Liberty beats New Mexico. Arizona State is going to upset Mississippi State at home. Arizona State looked awesome against Wyoming. And again, Wyoming is without Harrison Wally, their number one guy, their starting running back. He's out until midseason. He had knee surgery, I think, or ankle or knee. I don't remember. But he's out until midseason. But Arizona State looked awesome, especially that offense. They look great. And then Oregon State is going to beat San Diego State. And then USC over Utah State. And that is it for this week of Pick'em. And that is it for this week. So yeah, let's go look at my fantasy team right quick. Let's take a quick peek at it. It's taking a second to load in here. Let's check out my roster, man. If you look at that, I already won money. This is my first year in this league. So a bunch of my friend and his dad and all of their buddies. And once you see my roster, you'll probably see why I had 223 fantasy points. Because I think it's just BPR League. It is taking a while to load. That is on me. Here we are. That's why. Look at that right there. Boise State running back Ashton Jeanty had 66.1 fantasy points. I'm going to put it back to my lineup that I had for the game. I started drones, and I also started this Amory Thomas. So this was my final thing. And then I had the Utah defense. I don't have them anymore. The strategy for this is you pick someone who's playing for defense. You pick someone who's playing a JUCO team. So Utah last week, they played Southern Utah, and they got me 27 fantasy points. This week, Miami plays Florida A&M. I was last on the waiver wire, so I didn't get the best choice. But I got an alright one. I might choose a different kicker. I'm not sure yet if I'm going to do that, but we'll see. But yeah, this is a team that we play. They're a great team. Then let me go to scoring here. Let me see. See the guy I'm playing this week. I'm going to give it a second to load. If it doesn't load in about a minute, I'm just going to, I won't do that this week. I don't know why it's taking so long to load. We'll let it load while we check out the top 25. So this is my top 25. Obviously, Georgia, Ohio State, and Texas stayed the same. All those teams had outstanding performances. Ohio State put it to Akron. Texas put it to Colorado State. Georgia pretty much put it to Clemson there in Atlanta. But Oregon fell from, I had them at 5. They fell all the way to 10. They had a horrible showing against Idaho. They looked awful. To be honest, they looked terrible. And then, so they fell, and then everyone else just filled in, except, I forget, honestly. I know I posted it 4 minutes ago. Well, not 4 minutes ago, more like 30. But some of them I forget who they replaced. Syracuse, Oregon State, and Boston College are new into this week's top 25. Everyone else was in it last week. So those were the new additions. And then, yeah. Then let's check out the playoff eliminator. These are the teams I think are eliminated from the college football playoffs. It is blank because it's nobody. Nobody has yet been eliminated from the playoffs, especially with the auto buys. People might say, well, Nevada, or New Mexico's 0-2. They lost to a JUCO team. They do a FCS team. But they just have one conference loss. And if they can win their conference, and their conference looks good on paper, and they're highest rated conference champion, then they will make the college football playoffs. So that's why I don't think they will be eliminated quite yet. We might get a couple teams here on here next week. We'll see. We will see, though. Anyways, here we are. Into the scoring. So I'm playing McLeod. Then Isaiah Bond. This is what his team is looking like. Compared to mine, Ohio State defense, that's good. They play Western Michigan. Same with their kicker there. But, so we're looking like this flag means an injury. He just left with cramps, but I'm not going to start him anyway. I'm going to go ahead and put it back to what my starting lineup will be, and end off this video. So Chandler Morris will be the starter, and then I'm going to start the Jaminis Griffin, who scored 30 points last week, over Ambry Thomas. We'll submit those changes, and we'll end off this video. I hope you all have a wonderful night going for yourselves. And yeah, stay safe out there, And yeah.